Prince Harry and Meghan Markle dithering on whether or not they're going to attend the coronation? And does Oprah have an inside track? Hello everyone, welcome to Royal News Network. My name is Brittany, and today we are talking about the constant barrage of strange, weird, and undecided stories about Harry and Meghan attending the coronation. We have various polls showing that nobody really wants them to go. There's more support for Harry to go, but not Meghan. And Harry and Meghan, although they have been invited rather unofficially via email, because the official invitations go out a couple weeks before the coronation, their initial response was, we're not sure yet. And I just want to go, why are you not sure yet? Do you have something better to do on May 6th? No, we all know you don't. So why not just go ahead and say, yes, we're attending. We're going to support Charles and the rest of the royal family. Why not just go ahead and say that? Well, I have a couple ideas of what might be going on behind the scenes and why this endless dithering by Harry and Meghan and why they just don't man up and say, yes, even though it's highly hypocritical based on what we've said for the last several months and years, we're going to go ahead and go to the monarchy because honestly, we need the money. Why not go ahead and be truthful about that? Well, I have a couple ideas and I'm going to share with you guys some of what I think is going on and what Oprah Winfrey has recently said, which also goes to show that Harry and Meghan really have absolutely no idea what's going on and they're desperately asking their friends for advice. But if you guys haven't been here to Royal News Network before, like I said, my name is Brittany and on this channel I provide compelling royal commentary about the latest news and sometimes a little bit of gossip too. In addition, I will be reviewing television shows and movies and sharing a bit about history as well. So if you guys want to go ahead and subscribe, that would be fantastic. I will be giving you guys on the ground coverage of the coronation, and I just got back from the UK, and so I have some more coverage to share of that as well. I got some things in the lead up to the coronation itself because I will be there on the ground and I'll hopefully be giving you guys some amazing coverage and pictures. I'm so excited. I can't wait to go. It's going to be wonderful and amazing and I can't wait to bring you guys along. So if you want to subscribe again, I would love to have you back. This channel will just continue to grow and grow and grow and I'm just so excited to have you guys all here. In addition, I also have a weekly newsletter, Royal Wire, which I wrote an article for that, so hopefully I will get that out later today. I'm a little bit behind since I just got done traveling. And then I also have a fashion YouTube about royals and I will link that down below. I'm in the process of revamping that a bit, so we will have new content on there starting in April and being more consistent. And in addition, I also have a trip upcoming to the UK. I'm guiding a tour, and although it is all sold out, I'm working on a couple of other trips. So if you guys want to keep your eyes on that and maybe fill out the survey, that would be awesome as well. But like I said, Harry and Meghan and the coronation. So what's going on that we know of with the coronation? Okay, number one, it's going to be on May 6th. Number two, we know it's going to involve the coronation chair, which I recently saw at Westminster Abbey. There's a special stone that they put underneath it that's from Scotland that the king uses. And there's just all sorts of very complicated traditions and heritage regarding the coronation that's all going to go on. It's going to be held at Westminster Abbey. All the royal family is going to be there. And we don't know specifics about how everything is going to look because generally we know it's going to be somewhat scaled back. There'll be less people within the church itself. Yet at the same time, we also know that it's not going to be a cut rate coronation. We've heard this as well. Now, what's rather interesting is I did a recent tour of it was for Her Majesty's Diamond Jubilee, I believe, that they first initially opened or were working on this exhibit. So it opened around 2012 or maybe probably I think after that. And it was up in the rafters up above Westminster Abbey, so you could actually look down in. I did the tour of that. You couldn't take any pictures, which was such a bummer because they actually had Kate and William's framed marriage license, basically the very traditional one. They had that up there. They also had some casts of the royals who died. So they used to do casts of the people, of their face and of their body, and they would make molds or models of them. And that was really interesting. So I highly recommend doing that because it gives you really a sense, maybe a bit of the physicality of some of these former monarchs. And when I was up there, I could see, okay, I can understand now because there were 10,000 people at the Queen's coronation, I believe. And you could see based on being up there because you actually can look down into the Abbey, you can see the space and see where people could stand. So it made a bit more sense because sometimes I'm looking going, how can you fit that many people in there? So actually there were 8,000 people who attended the Queen's coronation, only about 2,000 that are going to attend Charles. Charles. So there really won't be anybody up in the balconies up above. They will be all down there on the main floor. But we know it's going to be, I think, scaled back. And how this will look perhaps is less tiaras, less jewelry, and perhaps more fascinators instead. And so there's a big question of how everything will look, particularly in regards to perhaps will Harry and Meghan in particular be allowed to wear a tiara, or if it's only reserved for working royals. How is this all going to work and come together? There really are still quite a few questions. We know it'll be a fabulous and fantastic event. But the question that everybody keeps coming back to, which is so dumb in a lot of ways because we all know they're coming, is will Harry and Meghan attend? And Oprah recently weighed in on that. Oprah Winfrey was the one, of course, who interviewed Meghan Markle and Prince Harry in their interview where they trashed the royal family and called them racist, even though Harry walked that back 2 years later and told us it was all a media lie, which is the epitome of gaslighting in so many ways. But here's what Oprah Winfrey recently said. I think they should do what they feel is best for them and their family. That's what I think. That's what the bottom line. It comes down to, do you feel like this is the best thing for you? They haven't asked me my opinion. Here's the truth. We all know they're going. They have nothing else. They have nothing else but their connection to the monarchy. What Harry and Meghan, in their 3 years since they've left the monarchy, have failed to do is separate themselves from it. And the monarchy, to its detriment, I think, has also been very unclear about separating Harry and Meghan from themselves. So there really needs to be a firm separation, and the monarchy is dithering on this. And I blame some of that on Charles. I understand he wants to give Harry an avenue back, but what he fails to take into account in a lot of ways is that Meghan Markle does not care about Charles, about the monarchy, unless it can make her money. That's the only way she cares. So Charles dithering, I don't think, is helpful in any way, because at the end of the day, I understand he wants to have this relationship with Harry, but he also needs to recognize that as a daughter-in-law, Meghan Markle does not care if Harry has a good relationship with his family. In fact, I think she likes it better when he does not. So Charles needs to let that go, because until Harry recognizes that Meghan really only married him for his fame and his money and his influence, if he isn't going to recognize or wake up to that, then he's still stuck in the Meghan vortex. So when it comes to the coronation, it's a hugely historic event. There's going to be, I would guess, over 1 million people in London just specifically for this. There'll be people camping out. There'll be so much attention on the British monarchy. It will be broadcast throughout the world. This will be a huge, massive moment. There has not been a real coronation since 1953 when the Queen was coronated. So this is a huge, massive moment in the world in so many ways. And so it'll be just fascinating to see how everything comes together, how everything looks. And I think it'll be a wonderful and fantastic day. So this idea that Harry and Meghan are like, we're not sure. Let me go ahead and read you guys their official response, because again, it is very telling. Their spokesperson said, an immediate decision on whether the Duke and Duchess will attend will not be disclosed by us at this time. And there's nothing wrong with Harry and Meghan making a considered response to this, but Harry and Meghan dragging this out literally makes no sense. They have nothing better to do. Yes, it is their son's birthday, but do you really have, when the whole world's focus is going to be on the coronation, on London, why would you attempt to overshadow that? The world's most impressive diamonds will be on display. There'll be a huge ceremony. Why in the world would anybody care about a half-rate Duke and Duchess in America trying to steal the limelight? They'll just look stupid. So of course they're going to go. They need the shine of the monarchy back on them, because Harry and Meghan's PR is tanking. It's going really, really badly. Even announcing to the world without confirming it through Buckingham Palace, really, and strong-arming everyone into giving their kids royal titles, I think, has backfired on them, because most of the people are not supportive of this measure. Who would have thought that giving your kids the titles of prince and princess in a country where they do not live and have no connection to, that everybody would think that's stupid and hypocritical, because you've told us time and time again how terrible, horrible, racist the institution of the monarchy is, yet you still desperately want titles from your children because it is their birthright. Heaven forbid we don't give them their birthright, even though Harry and Meghan have denied their kids their birthright in so many ways. Again, all of it just makes no sense and condenses around this idea that Harry and Meghan need the shine of the monarchy. I've made this analogy before, and I think it's still critically important, that the monarchy If you look at most of the members, and this extends beyond the general royals, some of the members are unattractive through decades and centuries of inbreeding. Some members don't really have any particular talents, or they're just not somebody you would go, oh yeah, this person is going to be famous. No, they are connected to the crown, and it's the crown itself that is the sun, and everybody revolves around it at different speeds. The further you are down the line of succession, the greater you are away from the sun, or the crown in this instance. And so Charles is a king, so the sun shines on him the most, and William is the second heir, so the sun shines on him second. And on and on. That's how the monarchies generally work. But Harry and Meghan made the critical error of thinking they themselves were the stars. That they themselves, that the sun was really, they were the sun. And everybody else, the crown, the rest of the monarchy, everybody else was revolving around them. And then they got to Hollywood. And then things hit the fan, and people realized Harry and Meghan, they're not that interesting. They're not that smart necessarily, and they're not that talented, they're not that creative. And so Harry and Meghan thought that they could turn their star power that was really related to the crown into their own star power. And instead of being people that everybody gravitates to and promotes, they become the object of derision on the world stage. People don't like them. Their likability goes down every time they open their mouths. And that is their error, because they thought that they could just trash the monarchy, do whatever they wanted, and still connect themselves to the monarchy while at the same time trashing it and not really producing anything of their own merit. Everything they've done at this point trades off the monarchy. Meghan's book, she had to call herself the Duchess of Sussex. Why not just be Meghan Markle? She can't be Meghan Mountbatten Windsor, because as a non-blood royal, she cannot use that name. But why not just be Meghan Markle? Why not try, or Meghan Sussex, she could do that. Why not try to make it without trading off the monarchy? But Harry and Meghan can't do it. I don't think Meghan was ever particularly talented at Hollywood. I'm going to do a whole video on the whole resurgence of the TIG. We've heard this again. I did a video on it in November, but we're hearing more and more rumblings of it, and I think it's happening. And if you go back through the TIG, it's such a self-aggrandizing project. It's so self-indulgent. Every blog pretty much is I. It's all Meghan. It's all so self-indulgent. I don't think people could connect to it to a certain extent, even though Meghan, to her, was her most successful thing. That's probably because she got free promotion and free stuff out of it and some money. That was her driving force in life, was money and fame and freebies. I don't think it could get any bigger than it was because Meghan couldn't let it go. She couldn't let other people in so many ways. And Harry and Meghan's venture in Hollywood is the same thing. Meghan is so self-obsessed that she cannot see where she is wrong. She cannot see how she's not the greatest actress in history. She was never going to be Oscar-worthy material. That most likely their venture in Hollywood would fail unless it could get beyond the monarchy. And because they can't do that, because they've traded off slamming their family, I think a lot of doors have closed in Hollywood to parties and various things because you can't trust them to keep their mouths shut, because they have to play off the media so much that their hypocrisy is just on full display, and nobody can trust them to keep their secrets, to keep their confidences. How can you trust Meghan Markle to keep your confidence? I would never tell that woman a secret. She would trade on you in an instant if it got her a little bit of time in the media, a little bit of attention, anything like that. She would trade off you in a second if she could, because that is who Meghan Markle is. She is somebody who's always been desperate for fame and fortune. So looking at the coronation, of course they're going to go. It's going to be a place with a lot of attention, perhaps some jewelry, a lot of places that Meghan Markle shines. She wants to be the center of attention as much as possible. Although during the Queen's funeral, of course, a candle took the place of her attention, being right in her face. And even though they'll be to a certain extent humiliated, I made the prediction at the Jubilee that they would be denied the balcony, and it looks like it'll probably be the same here. In addition to the fact that they will be most likely relegated to further back, it'll be the working royals in the front, all non-working royals behind them. There won't be this order of precedence like there was at the Queen's funeral. Charles and the family, the Queen's children came first, and then it was more by order of precedence or in relation to the monarchy and the hierarchy. I don't think, again, they'll do that this time. And that's because they don't need to. Harry and Meghan are so unpopular. Why would you even put them that close to the front? They're as toxic as Andrew is now. And Andrew will also be, if he attends, will be relegated to the back. So Harry and Meghan, even though they'll be humiliated, even though they'll look like hypocrites, they'll go because they need that attention. They need that validation that, yes, they are royals. Yes, they are important. So if we all know they're going, because they're failing in Hollywood. There was even an interesting article in Star, which I picked up. This one, tensions at home. Why everything is going on. And I love this line because I have suggested the same thing. It says, when Meghan and Harry made the move to California in 2020, they had big plans. But the feelings amongst their friends is that they're spending more than they're bringing in, and it's going to land them in the hole. I've suggested the same thing. I think they're living well beyond their means. They're living the lifestyle of a billionaire on a millionaire salary. And once again, they can't seem to turn the media attention, I think, into as much cash as I think they want people to think they are. And they do the bare minimum of charity. Meghan did some charitable thing in bringing in her $6,000 Chanel purse and an outfit that also costs a couple $1,000s. So it's not really about charity here. It's more about the fashion show every time we see Meghan. So why are they dithering? Why are they holding back, going, oh, no, we don't know? I think the reason is that Harry and Meghan are holding out, hoping, praying, wishing that they get their way in some way, if they stamp their feet, if they plug their ears and do a little tantrum, and hoping to get more attention and a higher profile at this event. They did the same thing at the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. They held out until about a month before the event. Why did they do that? Because I think they wanted on the balcony. At the end of the day, the monarchy said, no, you're not on the balcony. And in seconds, they confirmed that, yes, they were attending. So this is from CNN. Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, will travel to the UK with their children for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee next month. But the couple, along with Prince Andrew, have not been invited to join the monarch on Buckingham Palace's balcony. And then it goes on to say, Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, are excited and honored to attend the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations this June with their children, a spokesperson said, which they confirmed moments after that announcement went out. And I double checked on this, and I'm pretty sure I didn't. What's funny is I'm sure I filmed a video on this, but I don't think I edited it and put it together. And then I was looking and I could not find it. I didn't look that hard, but I couldn't find it. But anyways, Harry and Meghan decided that at the second, as soon as the monarchy announced that there was only going to be working royals on the Queen's Platinum Jubilee balcony appearance, then all of a sudden, immediately, within minutes, Harry and Meghan confirmed they were attending because they were waiting and hoping and wishing they would get on that balcony. They would get on that balcony with their kids, and they would get all the attention on them because, oh, people haven't seen Lily. People haven't really seen Archie. Oh, look at them. And then they were told no. And I think they threw a temper tantrum that they couldn't also have any prominent role at all, really. So they did go to the church service. But I also think one of the huge reasons they went back is for Netflix and to get a big picture with the Queen and Lily. And they were told no. And they decided to throw a fit, and they left early, which is such a shame because they could have been there at the pageant with all the royal kids were there. But I've also wondered too, since we don't really see them out with their children at all in public. Now, it could be that they are trying to keep their privacy. It also could be that Meghan's a narcissist and doesn't want any attention being taken away from her, because obviously her kids would get more attention than she would. But I also wonder too, perhaps maybe the kids aren't that well behaved and you can't trust them not to have a huge meltdown in public, and Harry and Meghan would not know what to do. That could also be an extreme possibility. So I just thought that was really interesting to consider. So Harry and Meghan, again, are hoping and praying that the longer they hold out, the longer they wait, that maybe, just maybe, they can put a decent amount of pressure on the monarchy. Maybe, just maybe, they can push the monarch in the direction, Charles in the direction that they want, and get more attention on themselves and their children. Part of that play was making their kids a prince and princess. Oh, you have to include Archie and Lily now. They're a prince and princess in the ceremony, because there's been a lot of rumors that Camilla's children will be involved. And I know some people are huffing and puffing that her kids aren't royals, but they are her grandchildren. And I understand that to a certain extent. I think it plays somewhat well to make sure that you have family involved in this ceremony because it is a ceremony for the nation, but also for the family. Yet at the same time, I can also see how it plays wrong, so we'll just have to wait and see how it all comes together. But this idea that Harry and Meghan, they want their children to be as involved as possible, and I'm sure the monarchy's like, your kids aren't coming to the ceremony. You do know that, right? Because they know nothing about Archie and Lily. They have no idea if these children will throw a giant temper tantrum in the middle of everything. They have no idea. Well, Lily won't even be 2 yet, and Archie will have just turned 4. They're too small for such a serious ceremony. Louis, I think, will attend, even though he's been a bit of a wild child. But I think he will attend because he'll be 5, and this is a big moment, and his parents are the future monarchs. So this is a huge moment for his family. And so I think they will definitely attend. And even though it's a somber and very serious ceremony, I'm sure Nanny Maria will be there to help manage him. So I definitely think we will see Louis there, but Archie and Lily definitely not. But again, Harry and Meghan are just desperate to cling to anything they can from the monarchy. So they're gonna wait. They're gonna make the monarchy go through all the hoops, all the bells and whistles, just to get them in the hope, in the desire that maybe, just maybe, their kids will get a lot of attention when Charles becomes king. Just maybe, they'll get a little bit more camera time. Maybe they'll get on the balcony. Maybe they'll be in a carriage. Maybe they'll be in a procession somewhere. That they won't be relegated to a car. That they won't have to, in order to just get a smidge of cameras on them, that Meghan Markle won't have to turn her window down a bit and smile at the camera to maybe get somebody to pay attention to her. Because the focus will not be on Harry and Meghan. It'll be on Charles and the rest of the royal family. Yes, Harry and Meghan will be talked about. I will talk about them, and I'm sure others will too. But it'll be more of that sideshow attraction. It'll be more of that, oh my gosh, can you believe that? Look at what they're doing. That will be what people will focus on. Because Harry and Meghan, unfortunately, even since the Queen's death, they've separated themselves further and further away from the royals. And the royal family, I think especially William, Charles again, he still thinks somewhere deep dark in his soul that Harry has a heart and that Meghan will allow him to reconcile with his family. Charles, I think you need to give up that dream as long as Meghan's in the picture. Because I honestly think she doesn't care about any of Harry's family. All she cares about is the money and fame that Harry brought her and you brought her. She doesn't really care about any of the other family things. She doesn't even care about her own family. Why do you think she cares about your family? So I think that's, again, hugely sad. I hope that's really not the case, that Harry can maybe reconcile, but I really don't think that will happen. And I think Charles needs to take a very firm line, which I think he will, because even though it's very frustrating that Archie and Lily are now Prince and Princess, I don't call them that, but that Harry and Meghan made that demand, Charles allowed that to a certain extent because it protects them from being called racist. And if Harry and Meghan get their kids that name and then new letters of patent come out sometime maybe after Charles is coronated, or maybe when William's king, denying them those titles, the monarchy can go, hey, we told you this was going to happen and you did it anyways. It's not our fault. So the monarchy looks good by inviting them. They look good at including them. I always knew they were going to invite Harry and Meghan. Of course they would, but they need to make that separation between themselves and Harry and Meghan clear. And I think they'll do it. Now, I was always on the fence that maybe Meghan would not wear a tiara. I'm not exactly sure if that's going to be the case. Somebody suggested that she'll wear the Vladimir tiara. No. She would only at the most wear the tiara that she wore on her wedding day, and that's it. She's not a working royal. There's no reason to upgrade her and give her anything different than that. Catherine, I think, will perhaps wear something different, wear something grander. William will probably wear a crown of some sort, perhaps even the Wales as kids, but Harry and Meghan definitely not. They'll be in the background. And I think perhaps the rest of the royals, the working royals, will wear tiaras, perhaps even something new for maybe Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh. I don't think Princess Anne, because mostly I don't think Princess Anne cares, because Princess Anne is rather awesome. But I think we'll see the royals really coalesce around the working royals and Harry and Meghan very much in the background, because that's where they belong now. They've decided to take background roles. And they didn't do the smart thing, which is go to Hollywood, separate yourselves, go do your own thing. That's fine. I don't really have an issue with that. Totally other royals have done it. It's the way you did it. It's how you've trashed your family along the way. How you tell us all the time how great you are, how wonderful you are, how you're going to save the world. Now, all you can seem to do is obsess about yourselves and your trauma, quote unquote, and you're not really helping anybody, and you're not separating yourselves from the royals. You're not actually doing your own thing. You're not trying to make it on your own. You still make us all call you not only Prince Harry, but the Duke of Sussex with the T capitalized. I know that's technically correct, but shouldn't you have a little bit more self-respect and drop it and actually just be Prince Harry and be Meghan Markle or Meghan Sussex? Have a little bit of self-respect. But Harry and Meghan, they're too egotistical for that. They're so desperate for fame and fortune. They're so desperate for any grip that they can have on the royal family that they'll go to the coronation. But they'll drag their feet until all the details are confirmed and they're officially told no. And I think they won't be on the balcony. I think it'll be working royals only. It should only be working royals, or it should just be Charles and the Waleses. Obviously Camilla as well. But Charles, Camilla, and the Waleses, I think those are the only people who should be on the balcony. Perhaps some of the attendants that came in as part of it as well. But I don't think there should be a big appearance. That can wait till the Trooping of the Color, which is later in the month. That way all the family can come up on that date, but it doesn't need to happen right now. This should be focused on the future of the monarchy. And Harry and Meghan, through their own volition, own decisions, own actions, are no longer part of that. They need to accept it and move on. They're desperate, hanging on for any glimpse, any bit of shine from the crown of the monarchy is wearing really thin on the public, and they just need to let it go. But I don't think they can do that because they don't really have any of the talent to make it on their own. So they're gonna desperately cling to whatever they can from the monarchy to their own detriment, because every single time they do it, it just makes them look worse and more desperate. So guys, let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what you think of my predictions. And right after this, I'll be filming a video on the TIG and hopefully getting that up the next day. So guys, again, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.